Imagine losing both parents in a blink, only for your uncle to swoop in and try to snatch your 10-year-old sister for her familiarity. Plus one update by u/tall tart 5735. 20F. Lost my parents in a car accident almost 2 weeks ago. I have a little sister, 10F, who is now in my custody. Yesterday my uncle, 40M, came to me telling me that my little sister would be better off in the familiarity of a two-parent household which he and my aunt could provide. I'll admit my first thought was hell no. But I kept my composure and I told him I didn't think it was a good idea. He then told me that I was in no position to take care of and raise a 10-year-old and that this way I can finish school and not have to worry about my little sister. I reiterated that it wasn't a good idea and that there was a reason my parents left my little sister in my care. It was specified in their will. He threatened to fight me for custody and that's when I went off. I told him to F-word off and that if he wanted to waste money on lawyers for a judge to ask my sister what she wants, then to go ahead. I also told him his lying, cheating self had no business fighting for custody of a niece he barely sees. I also threatened to bring up all the family drama if he tried to fight me for custody and that if he wanted something to spend money on, then to get his sugar baby pregnant. Anyway, my grandma told me I overreacted and that he was just concerned, so now I am wondering if I was an asshole. Also some more context. My parents were good with their finances and so now my little sister and I have a good amount of money to live off of while I finish school and get a job. Because of our age difference I was extremely parentified, and so my little sister is very attached to me. I am in the National Guard as well. With everything that's happened, she is more attached than ever. I am 100% sure that if a judge asked her what she wanted, she would say she wanted to stay with me. I already lost my parents. I can't lose my little sister too. Before updating, OP dropped some crazy context in the comments. When someone asked about the uncle's motives, OP replied, "I'm not worried about housing because my parents own 2 houses. We don't really need his help. I am planning on asking my aunt and cousin to move in with us so they can help." Another person asked about the National Guard requirements, and OP clarified, "The Guard does require you to have a childcare plan in place. Most likely I will name my aunt and cousin because they're already close to her, but I will have to ask to confirm." Update. 2 days later. I want to thank everyone for the support. Reading through the comments really helped to clear the fog in my mind. A lot of people were suspecting abuse or money to be his motivation, but because of my grandma's reaction, I think the motivation is religion. Him and my grandma are very involved in their Seventh-day Adventist church while I am not religious. I've talked to both my uncle and my grandma and basically told them to leave us alone if they want any type of relationship with us, and have gone low contact with both of them for the time being. I've notified my chain of command of the circumstances and have filed the appropriate paperwork now that my sister is in my custody. I've also asked my boyfriend to ask his professors if they know any good family law lawyers, and I've gotten a few names. One of them was even willing to do it pro bono under the circumstances, which I am really grateful for. Overall, I think I've gotten most of everything sorted out. I am taking it one day at a time and my sister and I have been doing a lot of activities to keep our minds sharp. I've signed us both up for individual therapy as well. Thank you everyone for the advice and I hope this update finds you well.
Here is what people had to say. Commenter 1. For being only 20 years old, this sister has her act together. She sorted out housing, military paperwork, and legal counsel within 2 weeks of a tragedy. Commenter 2. I wonder if we will ever get another update on how they're doing. I truly hope they are thriving. Commenter 3. Rule of thumb. If anyone who is not a parent thinks they're going to swoop in and get custody against the parents' express wishes, especially over someone with a closer relationship, they are probably full of shit. While children cannot just be willed like property, the parents' wishes are absolutely going to be considered, and there's going to have to be a pretty strong argument of best interest to change that.
Honestly, here's my take. This uncle is the definition of a vulture circling a tragedy to see what he can scavenge for his own religious agenda. To threaten a grieving 20-year-old with a custody battle while she is literally still mourning her parents is a level of cruelty that concern doesn't cover. It's clear that his motivation was never the 10-year-old's well-being, but rather an attempt to force his lifestyle onto a vulnerable child while potentially eyeing the parents' assets. The OP was 100% right to go nuclear. When someone threatens your family, you don't use a polite voice. You show them why they should be afraid to step foot in your life again. If you were in the OP's shoes, would you ever allow that uncle back into your sister's life?